Hi, I am here with The Magician's Elephant, Chapter 16. Hans Ickman pushed Madame Lavon's wheelchair, and Leo Matinee had hold of Peter's hand. The four of them moved quickly through the snowy streets. They were heading to the home of the Countess. I do not understand, said Madame Lavon. I find this highly irregular. I believe the time has come, said Hans Ickman. The time for what? Said Madame Lavon. Do not speak to me in riddles. The time for you to return to the prison. But it is the middle of the night, and the prison is that way, said Madame Lavon, flinging a heavily bejeweled hand behind her. The prison is entirely the opposite direction. There's something else that we must tend to first, said Leo Matinee. What is that? Said Madame Lavon. We must retrieve the elephant from the home of the Countess, said Peter, and take her to the magician. Retrieve the elephant? Said Madame Lavon. Retrieve the elephant? Take the elephant to the magician? Is he mad? Is the boy mad? Is the policeman mad? Has everyone gone mad? Yes, said Hans Ickman after a long moment. I believe that is the case. Everyone has gone a little mad. Oh, said Madame Lavon. Very well, I see. They were silent together then, the noblewoman and her servant, the policeman and the boy walking beside him. There was only the sound of the wheelchair moving through the snow and 3 pairs of footsteps striking the muffled cobblestones. It was Madame Lavon who at last broke the silence. Highly irregular, she said, but quite interesting, very interesting indeed. Why, it seems as if anything could happen, anything at all. Exactly, said Hans Ickman. In the prison, in his small cell, the magician paced back and forth. And if they succeed, he said, if they manage somehow to bring the elephant here, then there is no helping it. I must speak the words. I must try to cast the spell again. I must work to send it back. The magician paused in his pacing and looked up and out his window and was amazed to see snowflake after snowflake dancing through the air. Oh, look, he said, even though he was alone. It's snowing. How beautiful. The magician stood very still. He stared at the falling snow, and suddenly he did not care at all that he would have to do to undo the greatest thing he had ever done. He had been so lonely, so desperately, hopelessly lonely for so long. He might very well spend the rest of his life in prison alone, and he understood that what he wanted now was something much simpler, much more complicated than the magic he had performed. What he wanted was to turn to somebody and take hold of their hand and look up at them and marvel at the snow falling from the sky. This, he wanted to say to someone he loved and who loved him in return. This. Peter and Leo Matinee and Hans Ickman and Madame Lavon stood outside the home of the Countess Quintet. They stood together at the massive, imposing elephant door. Oh, said Peter. We will knock, said Leo Matinee. That is where we will begin, with knocking. Yes, said Hans Ickman. We will knock. The 3 of them stepped forward and began to pound on the door. Time stopped. Peter had a terrible feeling that the whole of his life had been nothing but standing and knocking, asking to be let into some place that he was not even certain existed. His fingers were cold. His knuckles hurt. The snow fell harder and faster. Perhaps this is a dream, said Madame Lavon from her chair. Perhaps the whole thing has been nothing but a dream. Peter remembered the door in the wheat field. He remembered holding Adele, and then he remembered the terrible, heartbroken look in the elephant's eyes. Please, he shouted, please, you must let us in. Please, shouted Leo Matinee. Yes, said Hans Ickman, please. And from the other side of the door came the screech of a deadbolt being thrown, and then another, and slowly, as if it were reluctant to do so, the door began to open. A small, bent man appeared. He stepped outside and looked up at the falling snow and laughed. Yes, he said, you knocked? And then he laughed again. Bartok Wynn laughed even harder when Peter told him why they had come. You want to take the elephant from here to the magician in prison, so that the magician may perform the magic and send the elephant home? He laughed so hard that he lost his balance and had to sit down in the snow. What "Whatever is so funny?" said Adam Levon. "You must tell us so that we may laugh along with you." "You may laugh along with me," said Bartok Gwyn, "only if you find it funny too. Ha ha! Think of me dead. Imagine if the Countess were to wake up tomorrow and find her elephant had disappeared, and that I, Bartok Gwyn, was the one who had allowed the beast to be spirited away." The little man was shaken by hilarity. There's a picture of them at the door. So profound that his laughter disappeared altogether, and no sound at all came from his open mouth. "But what if you were not here either?" said Leo Matinee. "What if you, too, were gone tomorrow?" "What is that?" said Bartok Gwyn. "What did you say? What did you say?" "I said," said Leo Matinee, "what if you, like the elephant, were gone to the place you were meant, after all, to be?" Bartok Gwyn stared up at Leo Matinee and Hans Ikman and Peter and Madame Levon. They were all holding very still, waiting. He held still too, and considered them gathered together there in the falling snow, and in the silence he at last recognized them. They were the figures from his dream. In the ballroom of the Countess Quintet, when the elephant opened her eyes and saw the boy standing before her, she was not at all surprised. She simply thought, "You, yes, you. I knew that you would come for me." I'll see you back here for chapter 17.